Bridges, Aldcombe, Haywards Heath, Wibblesfield, Burgess Hill, Essex, Preston Park, and Brighton.
Appreciate everyone showing up, and going through this whole process. And so as I text you all, first of all, how's everybody doing?
Okay.
Good, good.
Yes.
Carol,
Yes, I'm good. I'm busy, of course.
no one's
Yes.
suffering from heat exhaustion or anything like that.
Well, I'm volunteering this week at a youth camp doing guess what? A wind chimes project.
Oh yeah.
I said, why not just try it out in the community this way and see, get some more ideas.
That'd be
So
great.
they have a 2-hour little field trip. So
Okay. And so that's great. I got your flyer and you forwarded it to Carl and Marilyn for
yes,
them
yes,
to
I'm
review it.
supposed to talk with Marilyn right now, but I don't see her here.
Okay, so when she logs on, you guys want to go into your own room?
Well, yeah, if she gets on
Okay.
sometime soon.
Okay, great. And then we could talk a little bit more about the details of your project since it's coming up in, wow, 2 weeks, basically, 3 weeks.
What kind of details would you like to talk about?
Just review. I mean, everything is agile right at this point in terms of what we're doing. We did get good news, and that was everything was okay by the Board of Trustees. So our project is on. Bill and I are just waiting for them to send the check out. I downloaded everyone's, service agreement. I wanted to talk to Peter about some questions he had on his, because I let Bill know yesterday you had some questions on that MOU, Peter,
Yeah.
and you didn't sign it. So what we're going to do is have everyone come together when the check comes so that he can give everyone their check. And then at that time, you could sign it and then just kind of check off the areas that you think are not applicable to you,
Okay.
like that. And we'll just keep things moving forward. But I spent all day afternoon yesterday getting everybody's information into packets so that I can take it to Bill for him to sign. And so I think everybody is updated on everything like
Okay,
that.
well, you did send a form that needs to be filled out now.
I gave it to you so you can have it because those are travel like reimbursables. Just put that on there, and that way we have that. Have everything.
Okay, so
Yeah.
after I do the travel, you want to get that from me.
Well, I think you said you already booked Airbnb, so you would have the receipts from that, and then, I did that quote on car rental, gas going back and forth from the city out. But you are staying in Hazel Crest and you're not renting a car. So it's just basically the 1440.
Well, I'm renting a car to get out there. I'm not driving my car.
Oh, I thought you were driving your car. Okay.
No, because I think I'm going to be bringing materials from the land
Right.
back to my studio where I'll create the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm renting a car that's bigger than my car.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All right. So did you want me to say some details? I think you pretty much know what's happening. I'm going to arrive on the 7th and on the 8th and rest. It's a 12-hour drive
Okay, good to know.
and
Because,
rest. And then the 8th, I can just write this for you if you want to have it for
well,
my.
I just this is a case study that we're doing for this project. So all the reports, that's why I kind of have everybody do the reports. So we have it, you know, documented. I know you can send me that stuff. I just like to talk it through because it's
Okay.
part of our
Oh,
case study.
all
But
right. So
yeah.
on the 8th, I'm gonna be able to visit the land for the first time.
Uh-huh.
And I'm excited about that. And what just kind of spend probably the early part of the day and then the later part of the day because of, the weather, the temperature. I probably don't want to be out there in the middle of the day, but and gather some stuff for the next day's project, the evening and workshop. So the 8th, I will be on the land gathering materials. Marilyn said that she wouldn't have any problem getting the people who care for the land there to gather some long grass, some sticks, and some rocks, and have a pile of each of those right near to the site where we're going to build the mandala. But on Saturday morning, 11 to 1, I'll have that. That's going to be the family workshop, a family mandala build. And hopefully their marketing will bring a nice group of families together that I can work with. Marilyn says she'll be there also, and we'll take some walks around the land and gather more materials for the mandala, and then go back to the site and create it. And I'll have
Okay.
the middle of the day until the evening to myself to rest and have food and get ready for the evening's full moon social, at which time, I'm going to do some kind of gathering at the mandala and hopefully have a small something that each person who is at the social can add their energy to that mandala. So, because she says people who come there just want to drink wine and talk with each other. They don't want to be doing no art workshop or anything like that. So I might find some kind of simple thing that people can do. One hand with wine, the other hand doing that. I don't know. I'll figure something out which they can add to kind of crown the project. And then Sunday, I plan to go back to the land and document the work that we did that evening and just the artwork, and then take off and come on. I'm not coming home. I'm going to Jesse's father's celebration of life in Louisville. So I was wondering, you had talked with me, Alpha, about a bone pile. What's up with that? Is that still a
I think
possibility?
that's something that I gotta go look at too, but it's something that you gotta talk about with Carl and them, because I'm not public works out there, but because I gotta go look myself.
Well, do you have any time during that period that if
Of
I
course,
talk with
I'm gonna come out there. I know on the 7th I have an artist talk in Evanston. Um, it would it would be nice if you could visit that installation. But anyway, it's a closing on the 10th. It's about women in nature. And the artist kind of simulated the idea that you had when you installed your piece for the curatorial fellowship.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a nice, it's a really, she did a really good job of the whole installation. So it kind of took off from me doing the first one, and then here's the 5th one. And Paula said that it echoed the work that you did with vessels hanging, like where the women would have carried it in your installation.
At Juniper's Garden?
We're talking Evanston Art Center
Oh, at the Evanston Arts Center.
5 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a really nice, and she really did a really great job on the installation, and it's full circle to what we're doing over in Hazel Crest, because Paula, the executive director at Evanston Arts Center, is consulting with Hazel Crest, um, assistant mayor, assistant village manager on their art center. And their art center hasn't opened yet, and you'll be able to see it when you come. If we take a quick tour of Hazel Crest and the community, but that art center is not open inside, but the outside landscape and the outside is done. But anyway, she's conversing with Paula at the Evanston Arts Center about, trying to find out about how best to approach their art center. So that was kind of interesting when I told her that we had this big project out in Hazel Crest, and it all came like full circle, like, what? I'm already talking with Levon and, blah, blah, blah. And they're fact finding to how best to
Wait,
run it.
that's July 7th?
Yes, is the art talk. And my closing is on the 10th. So that's the only thing in between time but I will be coming out to Hazel Crest as soon as you arrive, and after you guys rest, then I'll be meeting with you guys.
Okay, so that probably would be on the 8th, right? The 8th? The 8th, I
Yes.
expect to spend that day on the land,
Yeah, I'll be out there on the 8th. But yeah,
Yeah,
that art talk is on the 7th, but you guys will just be arriving in town. So
I'll be happy to see you. It's been a while.
yeah, it has. Since last summer in Long Beach.
Oh, I thought we were gonna forget that.
No, Long Beach, I had to get over it. And then because it was so much effort that went into Long Beach from everybody that went, and them hosting us, and, Liza loaning us her car. And everybody put so much into that Long Beach project to take the external outdoor installation and bring it indoor, and then we did a collimating event for, that decade that we've been working on the project. So this is a new, like,
Okay, I hear
this
you.
year is kind of like a refreshed, a renew, and we're really doing the work that we said that we're doing in terms of environmental installation.
Oh, you're so glass half full. I love it. Okay.
I am. I had to get over it,
My friend Sue, my friend Sue calls that coughing up the hairball, the fur ball, coughing up and move on.
I have never been put out, Peter. We got put out of an Airbnb in Long Beach because I can't take these artists anywhere. I can't take them nowhere. And I was, I'm a host for Airbnb, but the rules are no smoking. And these people went out, not Carol. Carol was in the bed, sleep. I was in sleep. They had cameras on the outside of the property. So we
And
had
microphones.
and microphones, and two artists went outside and start smoking on the front porch, and they were hee-hawing it up, because they were high. They got hee-hawed up and laughing, and just one thing went to the other. And after our opening, we got put out. It was a nightmare, and we had to scramble and find someplace else to stay. But and then the host, because he had read about what the Phantom Gallery does, about the art practice. He had welcomed me to his place, looking forward to these curators coming from, East Coast, Chicago, Mendocino County, Sacramento. All of us were ascending in Long Beach for this wonderful installation. And we had to go through that. But he called me up and said, I know it wasn't you. My wife saw everything on the video, and I apologize, but we can't take the risk of, and then someone got injured, that night, and it just went left. All these old ancient hippies we are, and bippies that we
Right.
are.
We're
We don't know
not
how to
used
act.
to paying attention to the rules. Are you kidding me? We're artists, for God's sake.
But we were like, okay, we were in front of the camera, so you know.
Anyway, so I am expecting you on the 8th.
Yes.
And if you send us the information about Evanston, we will try to make it on the 7th.
Yes.
And
Okay.
then the 9th, I don't know where Marilyn is. But
Maybe I'll text her.
on
I'll
the
text her.
on the 9th, I'll be there working. I know on the 8th I'm gonna probably draw out the mandala with lime on press, just
Okay.
like to make it easy for people.
I'll be there on the 8th and 9th. And again on the 10th, I have to go out to Evanston for the closing.
Do you want to stay at our place on the 8th?
We'll see.
Okay.
Don't smoke.
Yeah, right?
You got all of that Hazel Crest open land to do whatever, do your business.
I think it's like 2 bedroom or 3 bedroom place, so you're welcome.
Okay, all right. So that's kind of an update from Carol while she's waiting on Marilyn. So Peter, um, I had wanted to talk to you about, like, I proposed and pitched that chair. I'm gonna need a fabricator to put the chair together.
Right.
Yeah, so, um, do you have that kind of steel in your studio already, or do we have to order it, or?
No, we'll have to get it, but it only takes a couple days.
Okay, all right, and then, you're gonna tell me the cost of that?
Well, you're gonna have to give me a plan with the final sizes and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, because I did send out the dimensions for the smaller chair. We're not gonna do the large chair at all because
right,
it's only 2,000. And we don't, and of that 2,000, I'm gonna have to buy the steel and stuff and pay you.
right.
So I just said I hadn't had a conversation, but we didn't get the placemaking grant that had the money in it for, the metal and then and I was gonna look with Carol as well to find if Hazel Crest has any steel, that we could
Mhm.
use, um, like that and the sizes and everything. But I do have the size from the other architect that drew the
Right,
plan out. I have that. And I also sent Carl the, the concrete,
right. I saw that. Right.
like that. And you would probably be doing the large one, right?
Well, I mean, I'm working on the specifications for my concrete,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sending it to Carl today.
Okay, so you're gonna do your own as part of
Yeah,
your project. Okay, okay, great. So, yeah, I sent him both of those, and then so I'm gonna do a smaller chair. And what I'll do is I'll send you all of the specs for the smaller chair
right. I just
because,
need to know the material size and all the dimensions, and I'll find out what the cost is and what the cost for the steel is from my steel distributor.
okay, yeah, I'll get that. I'll actually start looking at that. I'm looking at it right now as we're talking, but I'll send it to you. Um, what the plan is for the size of those chairs. And then also we had the cost that was written into the proposal, and I took it from the beautification project, what those costs
Mhm.
are, but California is a different cost and your distributor might have something more reasonable. And if I see that kind of steel over in the boneyard, then
Yeah, that's fine too.
yeah, like that.
Maybe half and
Um,
half or whatever.
okay, because at this point I didn't underbid that, but it was contingent upon getting the larger grant that we would
Mhm.
have the money to get all that steel. So, but yeah, I'll get that to you. But first, I know you're working on yours, and mine is phase two, and I was just going to work on the metal panels itself and create art on that, but
Mhm.
it's not going to be
For a
until
while.
right because that's phase two, the installation of it. But I was talking to Carl about the first phase is to get those slabs in so that they're
Right.
set and everything like that and getting a timeline for when they're going to be put in.
Okay, well, I'll send them, my drawing and specifications and
Mhm.
let them do what they're gonna do.
Right. And I know that the labor and everything is supposed to be in kind from the Hazel Crest.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And then next week I'll try and finish all the details on my piece and the and the computer drawings so we can get the steel laser cut.
hmm And do
And
you do that
then
yourself?
do what?
The laser cutting?
No, no, no. This is big time stuff.
Oh,
So no, I go out to the laser center,
uh-huh.
which is out in the northwest suburbs. So they'll probably, once I get the final drawings, I'll send it to them. They'll tell me how much it's gonna cost and their timeline. And then we'll start from there.
Okay. So your first installment would be the 4,500.
Yes, because I have to pay the laser center and the steel guy
Right, right.
up front,
So,
right?
yeah, so I got an email from, CC'd on an email where, I'm pushing, Bill to, hey, call them, and that way we have an expectation
Yes.
when our contract has been approved. You know, I sent everything in as contract to the secretary so that it could be put through.
Yeah,
And so we're just waiting now for them to process.
okay, whatever.
Okay.
I got enough going on right now. I'm up to my eyeballs in a big project, so.
That's the one you were installing last week, or you got
No,
a new
this one
one?
is two large shelving units, 10 feet tall, 4 feet wide for somebody's living room.
Oh,
They have to be finished in 2 days. Hold on one
oh,
second.
all right. I'm gonna get my phone, Carol, so I can call Marilyn and see what's going on.
Okay, and I actually wouldn't mind talking with you.
Okay, just a minute.
All
Hey,
right.
I'm back, sorry. Oops. What happened?
Oh, she went to get her phone.
Oh, okay.
I guess she didn't know you would be right back, but she'll be right back. She was
Okay,
getting her phone. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I was getting my phone so I could call Marilyn because we need to definitely
yeah,
get this. I want to make sure that we got people for the workshop. I know that the Park District, they really pull together people. I don't know, largest amount of people that I've seen so far with, open lands is maybe a dozen. I know for the Sun Festival, this shouldn't have
yeah,
been
that
called a
was,
festival.
that really wasn't a festival, was
No, it
it?
wasn't a festival. The festival was happening on the other side of
Yeah,
the Park District. It wasn't happening with them. And so that's the part where our engagement activities are we need to document and try to really get people out, even though I think as guest artists coming into this city, it's more on the program people to pull their own folks out and try to get them to
right,
support what we're doing. But then again, we already know the dynamics of, trying to get people to come to something that they're not familiar with. I think this is not a familiar place for folks that are not about to get out there and do, be in the woods or create activity in the woods. It's a new experience. Because they just start clearing that area out in the last couple of years. All right, let me
mhm,
call Marilyn. And I know that Carl will be on, but he's at the church. Um, and he'll be coming on closer to 2 o'clock. If anything, they're probably looking for the password again. Zoom for the Zoom call.
Hello, Alpha.
Hi, Marilyn. Carol's waiting for you to log on.
I didn't get the information and I had to call with my emails or my information to even get where to log on.
Okay, I'll send you it again. It's in your text chain, so I'll send it again.
That would be good, because that's what I was looking for when I didn't see it. I said, well, I didn't know what to do. So, okay, send that please and I can log on.
Okay, great.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, she just said that she didn't get the link, but and can't find it. So I'm gonna send it to her so she can log on. I think, did you all get the link each week?
It showed up on my calendar and I just click on it. I don't. Liza did a good job, whoever did that, so,
I did that.
oh, you did that.
I did that.
So
To
I
make
have a
sure.
meeting with you for the next 2 years. Every
Ah,
2
is it 2 years? Did it go 2 years?
No, I don't know, it went way
No.
out, so,
Yeah, I just did it until we finished this project.
oh, okay. It just showed up.
Maryland. Maryland. All right, I sent it to her, so she should be logging on. Carol, you said you had something else. Peter, if you didn't have anything else, you don't have to hang on. I know you said you have these big projects that are
Yeah.
due. But you
Oh,
just
okay.
gave your update and, like I said, you're waiting like everyone else is for our first payment because that's what's
Yeah,
in your
that's fine.
contract like that. But just,
Okay,
just gave you an update on where we are,
yeah, no, that's good, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'll send you a copy of what I sent to Carl for the base. And then, when I get your stuff, I'll start working on it
Mm-hmm.
and I'll look at the contract. We're talking about the contract with Bill, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll go over that.
Yeah, you had
Uh,
said, had a couple of
Yeah, there were some
questions.
questions just on, yeah, I mean, it just didn't apply to what we're doing.
Just say
more or less.
not applicable, because
Yeah, right.
it's a general
Yeah.
contract that I have in the files from other
Yeah.
beautification projects, and I just took that as a template to apply it to, the Hazel
Sure.
Crest project, and
No, that's fine.
what's not
Okay.
applicable isn't applicable, and then you could just put NA on that, and
Yeah.
then we'll just initial
Okay.
it.
Okay,
All right, take care.
okay, thank
All
you
right.
very much.
All
Bye,
right.
Carol, bye. Bye, Marilyn.
Yeah, Peter has a huge project. You have to come off mute. I'll unmute you. There you go. Marilyn,
I'm
hello?
sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold
Yeah,
on.
I took you off of mute already. You're good.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah. So Peter just left the call because he has a big project that's due in 2 days, and then he gave his update already. And he's going to be sending his draft of the concrete slab to Carl.
Okay,
And he's also going to, we're gonna look and see if in the scrap yard over there, if we can find steel, metal that we can use, for these projects before, going out trying to buy this stuff. If we
Yeah.
have scraps that are
If we
scraps.
July 8th, that would be so perfect because I'll be there too.
okay. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Marilyn. You look all refreshed from town.
Yeah. So today is a little hump day where I have to take care of paperwork that, well, anyway, I am. Thank you so much.
That's right. Just take
But I'm happy to hear that the village did go forward with our plan. That was definitely good news. So, Carol, and then I wanted to know, as you said, it's still with the phase one, which had me concerned about, Carol, your project with the out in the open lands with your sound,
yeah, the wind chime.
the
Yeah.
wind chimes, but we're still able to do that in that amount of time?
Well, that project, and according to my uh what is it called? The letter of agreement is got to be done, I think, by early next year.
Okay.
Actually, the dedications for these are supposed to be October.
What? October of this year?
That's what the dedication is. The whole project was based on our timeline for November
I
2026.
have that whole theater piece in October. Oh my God.
So, I'm just gonna give you the timeline.
I have
Um,
that timeline on my phone.
okay.
Get it? I could have sworn it said May 2026.
So now the dedication alpha is,
Oh,
October. On that timeline, it's October.
okay, of course, I don't have any of that in front of me, but the timeline as far as the projects being completed
Well,
or
we have a
starting?
year. We have a year. They should be
Okay,
starting as soon as everyone gets their, everyone's working on stuff now, but when they
okay,
get their check, the first installment, like Peter can't order the supplies that he needs and bring in the fabricators that he needs to
I
do
don't see
that part
that.
until he gets the first installment.
okay, okay,
And
okay.
then, so just a minute, Carol, I'm looking for the what I gave the village. Here it is. And on everybody's thing, there's a timeline here that says August 9th, full moon, community engagement, October 5th, Oaks and Folks, planning, sculpture, dedications. So
Where
that's
does
the
it say vacations? It says gala featuring tree planting and musicians, jazz musicians in the afternoon. It doesn't say anything about a dedication. October 5th, Indigenous.
October 5th, Oaks and Folks. This is on the Exhibit A scope of work. So you want me to pull up your Google file where you sent the agreement back? So just give the timeline that you think that you can get this done. If you can't do it because you have another project that's overlapping, then just say that so
Well, I'm
that we can
saying,
plan your installation.
well, I can't do it now because I have
No,
something else, because this timeline I have didn't say anything about that. I understand you're telling me that there is another timeline that does outline this as part of it. I have, I,
I have right here community engagement events that's on our scope of work that was given to the given to the village of Hazel Crest. And right now we're on, we had the Tree Terrific May 17th, June 16th, Hazel Crest Beautification Commission meeting, Juneteenth Village presentation, June 28th, Summer Solstice,
well,
and
what else dedicated?
August, August 9th, Full Moon Community Engagement, and October 5th, Oaks and Folks Planning Sculpture Dedication is what
What,
I have here
sculp-
for,
what other sculptures besides mine are being dedicated that day?
well, Peter just got off the phone with his, and I'm talking to, the piece that I was, bidded, should be installed. And also yours was the third one. And, but I don't want to go back and forth with you on stuff that's in writing. If you can't do it, give me a timeline that says when you can anticipate it being installed. That's
Okay,
it. No biggie.
Yeah,
okay.
that sounds
So
good.
I'm not going to do it off the top of my head. I'm going to look at that piece of paper and look at my
Okay,
calendar and get back with you.
that's fine. There was, those were the community days that were on the, um, that was on our scope of services. I got everybody's timeline and everything that they were supposed to do. So it's in writing, the dedication. So, but again, I started the conversation with agility, agile, meaning flexibility. The better time probably for her to install would be when the trees are
Kind of barren.
yeah. So then that's where she could look at her. I know you're not
Mhm.
trying to come to Chicago in the snow, fall, later fall. When is your theater installation project finished? Carol?
Oh, I thought you said you didn't want to go back and forth right now.
Well, I meant it seemed like you're gonna get revved up to get started to go back and forth to be about stuff that's in writing. When I started the conversation about we have the agility or be agile with the project. The timeline that you might be looking for, and I did say that we didn't get the grant that was for Cook County placemaking, which made our deadline November of 2026. This first phase of the project ends at the end of the fiscal year. When's the fiscal year, Marilyn? Because I have to report back to you all, and give each artist timeline. That's, on our work plan and everybody's work plan. That's why I asked, because everybody has to work at their own pace, and just give me a tentative, and all of us a work plan, because that's was asked of me to give to the village manager after getting it approved by Maryland.
By who, me?
You, because you said any communication, you need to know everything because you're the commissioner.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, I do understand, Carol, that because I thought about it, I said, is Carol coming and we doing this and she's going to do her project within those 2 days? I didn't see that. And then it would be wiser to do it once the trees are a little more barren. I think what I was doing when I sent you those pictures, Carol, was just kind of not only looking at the space, but looking at a tree that might be best suitable that was already barren.
Mhm.
Because I think you mentioned that this project, this piece that you're doing would be better on a tree that is already barren. Not quite dead, but it's not full of, leaves and all of that. So that's why I was sending you those pictures. So I do agree that in the fall, what next year, the early spring, because let me just ask again, Alpha, this needs to be, phase one needs to be completed July 2026.
You're muted.
Alpha. Well, from my understanding,
Mhm.
it's to be completed July 2026. So that leaves
Yeah,
us. So that leaves us. I think early spring
That would be wonderful.
yeah.
would be
I
better.
already I have a residency in the winter, and that's what I'm going to be doing is creating the artwork for the project. At least that was my plan. In January and February, I'll be working on this piece.
Well, all you got to do is
Or
just put that in. Just give us your timeline. What's for you? Not the overall project timeline, the timeline that agrees with you and your schedule, Carol. That's what everybody's doing.
so, Carol, so that I understand, you have something in January, February. You were just saying before you get started, or that's when you plan to get started.
Well, yeah, I have a residency where my time is solely for my artwork in
Okay.
January and February, and I want to be focusing on that while I'm there, that piece. I'm going to do some writing as part of the residency, but the actual physical artwork that I create will be this project.
Okay. So then, with what we pulled together for this project for you, how how will that work? How will you get that? Will it be a matter of you coming in and constructing it then? Or I know nothing's being shipped to you, I can't imagine. Don't know.
Well, I'm coming in on for the full moon.
Right.
I'm driving so that I can bring materials from the open lands to my studio.
Oh, I see. Okay. That sounds great then.
Yes, um, and then I'll just bring it back already starting, already ready to just be put together on site.
Oh, great. Okay.
And
So I see now.
that the spring would be awesome for that.
So here's, your contract, and then your work plan is attached to it. Your community engagements here, and here I put installation and dedication. I could, change this right now on this contract to read what date.
I don't know I can't see that, so I can't. Oh wait, I can scroll it up. Okay, what do you
Well, yeah, you have it in, this is what, yeah.
Open Lands Commission, beautification projects, marketing. Are you talking about October 5th? Boy, that really went by me. I don't know. Do I have?
Anyway, I asked the question. This is what I have on our service agreement. All I need you to do is change this. This is what's going to happen on the 5th. Give me a date,
Change the date.
or
Mhm,
spring
mhm.
to be determined.
Okay, just
Something.
Marilyn, what do you think? So I just say spring 2026, or do you, so that we can see what you're doing then that we can coordinate with? If you're
Yes, I was going to say, I think what would have been best would have been to say to be determined, spring 2026 to be determined. Because yes, you'll need to come in with that piece, and we also have other uh, types of events that would occur in the spring, such as our Arbor Day, something like that, where the trees still would not be in full bloom.
Yeah, Arbor Day sounds awesome.
When is Arbor
Yeah,
Day
so I
next
don't,
year?
yeah,
When is
2026.
Arbor?
Uh,
I'm looking for the date on my calendar.
okay.
Oh, God.
And I'll just put right here.
April 24th, Friday, April 24th.
Okay.
So we normally celebrate Arbor Day on that Saturday. So more than likely it would be April the 25th.
Hmm. And what do
Mhm.
you usually do? What do you guys do to celebrate?
What we do, we one second here, get back to the screen. What we do, uh we have just a small ceremony. Basically, we invite the community out. We invite village uh, staff out, and we talk about what Arbor Day is. We talk about what it means to us, and we plant a tree. Sometimes we plant multiple trees, and we also have had times during Arbor Day when we have also planted dedication trees, or let me say memorial trees.
Right, Carl told us you do that, where you put
Mhm.
a name on there or something.
Yeah, we'll have a plaque on a post for uh, the memorial trees. And I think we normally do that same day. So it is more of an event where we plant multiple trees because there's normally an Arbor Day tree, one Arbor Day tree, and then some memorial trees or some trees, other trees that we have. When the community is involved, we also have them to shovel some of the dirt, compost, and the mulch into the soil after the tree has been placed in there as well. So then it's a hands-on activity for everyone that wants to get involved.
Sounds fun. Sounds perfect because it's all about trees, and my work is going to be
Right,
integrated into a tree. Yeah.
right. So that would be perfect.
So I
So
put
that
that on your
is
contract, Carol. You
Grove
saw me type it in.
25th.
No, I left the October 5th because that's a date that we're gonna do some sort of dedication. Peter's shooting for that date. To have a dedication of sculptures, but we're gonna continue on in the spring because, we have a phase 2 project installation. Bill and I can't get our stuff installed until probably the spring or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so that works
Okay.
out, but it's just like, there were several timelines. And then timelines changed when the, beautification committee got together and they changed dates that were initially given. We're flexible.
Thank you for
Be agile. Come on.
thank you
Oh,
for
absolutely.
that, Alpha. Thank you for acknowledging that there were several timelines.
It is. It was several timelines. There was one based on the Cook County placemaking, which all project funds and installations should have been completed by November of 2026. That's what was asked. For this, I stayed on the same because we didn't dump that proposal. That's the outline for the whole implementation of Arts in the Woods. That's our guideline. But we know that we can only do this in phases because of the amount of funding that we have allocated for the project.
So with the schedule that we just came up with, Marilyn, and you and I have worked out, is that still phase 1 or is that phase?
Yes, phase 1, still phase 1.
That's still phase 1. It's
Mhm.
just that it won't be October the 5th. We will ride that into spring, which would be better for your delivery for your uh, project, much better.
Yeah.
And that will also be on Arbor Day, which would really be sufficient. And I think that would really bring out more participation
It's okay.
because that would be an excellent time for the community to see that artwork
Yeah,
displayed.
fun. It'll be fun.
And
Yeah.
then you then will be able to have more of the students involved because in August, school's out, and around the time Carol's coming in for this time, we really want to have the school district involved because what's your point person with the district that comes to your meetings?
She is, I have to recall her title. She works directly with the village president.
Yeah, and it makes sure that she gets all of the information because we
Yes,
really do. Because Carol, did you want to share your poster that you sent?
I did see that.
I
That was excellent.
into her. So
So that design sets the kind of like tone.
for
Well,
the
they don't have to draft anything new. The imagery is already there, created by the artist.
right, so it's really Alice. Isn't there someone named Alice with Bill's group that can also help us get the word out?
Let's keep moving on that conversation. Let's put a pin in that conversation with the engagement coordinator because I have to meet with her and see if she's engaged. I know she was saying she didn't like really traveling out to the suburbs. So I'm going to take that as if it's too much for you, then I need to move it to somebody else that's going to coordinate and really work with us and not be present.
Okay, understood.
Okay. But the person that is in charge of social media is the Beautification Commission for the Village of Hazel Crest. And
Yes,
that would be Tara Moore.
yes,
Right. So that's who we should always reference to in terms of
yeah,
media and getting stuff out.
yes.
Yeah. Alice's role would, from the William G. Center for the Arts, would be in galvanizing, putting together musicians to come out, and perform and, use her, her mailing list of people that she invites, but that really works well for the city. I don't know how it's going to work for the suburbs. And
Okay,
and
well,
leaving the Sun Festival, um, Inca, I went over to the other side, leaving out of there, and the Park District had a huge thing going on over there. And their information comes up on my Facebook where they have music in the park for Hazel Crest, and they have a really good turnout.
they do have a good turnout for that. However, when we speak about the events that the Beautification Commission will have,
Mhm.
uh, Mrs. Uh, uh, Joyce, I'm gonna call her name, brain freeze for a second, Dickerson, which is close to the village president. They advised when we were talking about getting music out and the drumming, for example, Carol, they suggested we find that we gather that from our community.
Okay.
So, which when Carol and I had spoken the other week, Alpha, we decided that that would create less stress for us trying to gather all that together for this event on for the Moonlight Social.
Mhm.
So what we will have is just Carol, as you suggested, and as we agreed to have the community when they come out to gather the sticks and the other things to make music. Am I correct,
Hmm.
Carol?
I'm trying to remember talking about having the community create music. I don't remember that. What I thought, this is what I thought we were going to do in terms of music.
Mhm.
I don't have any. My notes. Let me see what my notes say. All it says here is a drum circle in the evening. People and partners organizing with partners, which you just said you put the kibosh on that. We should stay in house, right?
Stay in house. That was what was suggested from one of the commissioners, as well as Ms. Dickerson, she's with the school board, president of one of the functions of the school board. So I
So,
thought that would make it easier.
well,
Than
So how are we going to get people? Are you going to take the lead on that and get people to come?
that's what I was gonna say. You
yeah,
said
yeah.
that.
I'm going to definitely have them to get that together. Now, that would not be for this event and uh, for the Moonlight Social because it's too short of a notice, as we agreed, Ms. Dickerson and I. School will just be starting at that point. But for uh, the dedication in April, we can have that as well, and some of the others. But they suggested using the community from the schools. Let me just ask, what are your thoughts on that? Because there can be an integration, I thought, well, we could use the schools as well. I could understand that. And also have some outside musicians.
Well, I have a musician that's coming in. I was talking to him about it, coming in from New York. Let's keep it all in the family here. Um,
Okay.
so, and he
Now,
does percussions as well. And we were going back and forth, and he said, "Let me know," because he has a concert here on the 10th. But I told him, and he's flying in on the 8th. And I
okay,
told him about this project, and I
okay,
told him that I
okay,
really wasn't talking a lot about it until we got the funding. But he knows
okay.
I've been talking about the project, and I really had recommended him, and I'll show you his website in a minute, because of the experimental sound element, you know, of what we're doing and how to explore that in nature, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So we had mentioned that earlier with Carol's piece as being the sound. What did I say? Her piece is the somebody else's contract is the soundscape.
So then, and I think that was a concern, Carol, when we talked about having, I remember you said drummers to come out on the day of the Moonlight Social. And I was thinking, well, how would we get that? Who would provide that? And so that's when I brought up about um, what two of the commissioners had suggested, along with the school board president, Ms.
So,
Dickinson.
so what do you usually do? Just have nature sound in there? Or what?
Absolutely. That's all that we basically had. We, again, I will describe our Moonlight Social. Our Moonlight Social would be given in the evening, basically around sunset. And it was an event for the adults, basically. Uh, we would gather our chairs out, and I think we had little snacks, little wine out there, and we would just have a social, chatter about whatever, and the moon. With no particular program. It was just an impromptu meeting. Then the moon would rise, and we'd watch it for a period of time, and then we would disperse, and that was it.
So I
So
that Marilyn, and I thought when we talked, we were talking about, well, during the course of that, I could hopefully engage people to come look and see the mandala. I could talk
right,
the mandala and have some
right.
small thing that each person who is there in the evening can add to the mandala.
Add to that.
Yeah.
That's right. That's what we were talking about. And then I know we talked about the drumming. And I said, well, I knew I wasn't clear on how that was going to go when that first came up in the initial talk about the Moonlight Social and your involvement. And it seemed like it was becoming almost a day-long event, which you and I discussed. It would not be a day-long event. We'd have like 2 sessions, the earlier sessions where the community and the families can come out. I
Right.
mentioned the young people. They would start the mandala and maybe some other activities. And by evening, for this Moonlight Social, they would not be a part of that.
Yeah. Right.
So, yeah, they would not be a part of that. So then when the drumming came in, or the drumming music, I was kind of concerned, well, how would you gather that? But then that's when we decided, let's omit the thought of trying to bring a well, I won't say marching band, but bringing a band together. And you mentioned that the grabbing what we could to make instruments so that the kids could make instruments or sounds. And I thought that would be better because
Um,
it was
okay. I have to honestly say I don't remember that.
All right,
right.
so here's
Okay.
this website, and I think percussions will work out there because we don't have to deal with
Sound.
we don't have to deal with electricity, sound, like Carol's saying. Um, this is more experimental. I was looking for something that was just with percussion.
But Marilyn, I want to confirm with you that what we were going to do, because I'm hearing you say that the family mandala build out would have. Is that when you were thinking there would be gathering of plant materials that would make music? Is that when you were thinking that was going to happen?
Well, I know we talked about the mandala, and I understood from the examples that you had shown me what and I'm going to say families, or what that morning earlier uh, group would do, as we agreed that the adult group would complete it. We talked about music, and you used the term drumming, because I originally thought when you said drumming, I didn't understand it because we have drumming classes out from the park district. So we talked about just so that there can be maybe some form of music out there daytime, that I think you mentioned in the past that you've had uh, those that have came out and found uh, natural things to make music with. Am I correct?
I don't remember that. That's strange.
Okay, that's okay.
I remember
That's fine.
saying, "Oh, are you talking about bongo drums?" I remember because I hadn't heard
We did, we
bongo.
did go there.
Huh?
We did go there. You're absolutely right.
That's what I remember, but I don't remember the other aspect that you're talking about. Um,
I think we came to the conclusion, now that you bring that, because I didn't, well, whatever I wrote down on, I don't have before me, that we thought that to have the bongos would be good, because I thought that I said, oh, I know someone that plays the bongos.
huh?
And it's a matter of me uh, uh, contacting him ahead to see would he be available. But yeah, we kind of came up with the bongos as a source of music.
I mean, in this moment, right now on this call, I would say, in relationship to where we're at with the project planning, I would say if y'all are used to having the sounds of nature there, and there's no immediate way of getting drummers or sound, I would say just let it go. You know what I mean? Just let it go.
Well, that's fine. That would be fine as well too, because it would be daytime. We could listen to the sounds of nature. That I think that would be perfect.
But Marilyn, what we were talking about in terms of from 11 to 1 on that Saturday, we had talked about Carl and his land keeping crew to, over the course of, I would say, from now until then, gathering. You remember we said rock,
Yes,
sticks, and
yes.
which is what I will be depending on having there. In fact, I did a little drawing just of piles of stuff, that they would do that. And we chose the site, which is right next to the gathering. There's a little meadow there,
Hmm.
and that they would put those things there. And then on that Saturday morning, 11 to 1, you and I would be at the site. We would take people around, the families around. It's kind of like showing them the plants, gathering some materials that we can use in the mandala, talking like almost like a plant walk kind of thing. And I'll talk about materials. We can talk about the trees, the grasses, whatever, you know, and then,
That's where the conversation came in with the sound walk. As you're talking about the nature walk, that's where
Right.
the whole
Okay.
sound walk conversation came in, because
Okay.
because I'm really not wanting to omit it out of it. I was putting it in. And if we invite some of the music students, I think that school rehearsals or band rehearsals are starting back out there, whatever, something we could check to make sure we give an invitation for the student. I'm not talking about big band, marching band, drill team. I'm just talking about, you know, students that would be interested in experimental sound. You know what I mean? And learning that whole genre.
Yes, that is not my name of my game.
And Carol is doing her thing over
Mhm.
there. But I hear what you're talking about, Marilyn, how this intersects with each other, and creating placemaking activity. So that could be Carol's doing that. She's not going to be in charge of the sound walk. We'll put the musician in charge of the sound walk, you know, and pulling that piece together, and then having both of them uh, at the Moon Social.
Right, social.
Okay.
So let me get a better understanding or a clearer
We just
understanding.
plan it. We just plan it.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
because I'm concerned that within, I had to look at the calendar. So I'm concerned in those, let's almost say 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, three, that we have left to try to pull that together with the school's band or musicians. I'm kind of concerned as to whether that can happen. I know I did see Miss Dickerson. I spoke with her around the time that we had, had the over at the art center, and I brought that up, and she asked me to remind her. I know that's the beginning of their school period, so I'm not sure.
Mhm.
However, I wanted to go back to the bongos, for example. Uh, I thought even something along those lines for the moonlight social at night would be good. Some type of natural sound.
Mhm.
Bongos to me are natural sound. When you're talking about flutes and guitars or whatever, I don't quite see that necessarily. As you said, we won't have electricity. Well, we don't
Well, you
need
have wind
electricity.
instruments. You know, wind doesn't need
Right,
amplifiers and all that.
right, right. But then that would mean bringing the uh, children out. Now, when we talked about, and let me definitely clarify this, when we talked about the schools coming out, we were not talking about the higher grade students. We were talking elementary because they had mentioned that what Carl brought up, which was something important, that's football season for them. So they may not be available for that, or games may be being played. We don't know. So we were going to reach out to the elementary school kids. Uh, but in the evening, we really did not. Well, Carl said he didn't matter, but it did to me because it's dark. Uh, it just had not been a situation where we had young children out there at all. Uh, Peter brought up a fact which actually was a part of what we did. He said, "Is there going to be wine?" Generally, we did have that. When we start talking anyone under 21, that's a big no. Um, and it even still depends on, as Carl brought up when I spoke with him the other week, we may need to look into that to see if even that can happen. Before then, it was not an issue. uh, because it was a little bit more private. I don't know what Park District does because Park District, when they have their music out there in concerts, they do have, but people do bring their own. So that's kind of how I was looking at that, which meant definitely not having any children or under 21 out there for the nighttime, evening moonlight social. I'm looking at your faces. It's amazing what I'm
Because
seeing.
it's amazing to me that we're having this conversation. Uh, because I know over at the botanical garden, they're and here at our programming at the Bronzeville, you know, art district, it's family friendly. And there's wine that's served. There's a bar downstairs. Um, children out in the line at the bar. Of course, no children are being served, and they have a liquor license, and it's something totally different. But children are in the environment here. When William Hill has something at the botanical garden on Woodlawn, it's a mixture of some teenagers, some children show up, and adults, and you bring your own setup. You know what I mean? And I've seen wine out there. They're not serving it particularly. They have the food, but people bring what they bring. You know, they ain't
Okay,
smoking out
okay,
there, but they're drinking. So
okay.
I don't, and Park District does the same kind of thing. It'll say when there's a concert out there, I think that Hazel Crest, you better look at what your policies are out there. But I know every event I've went to and it's family friendly, you know, people, and there's a concert or gathering, people bring, you know, their children, but they ain't serving them liquor or wine or anything.
I see what you're saying, and I agree with every event that I've had gone to. That's been the case. However, Carl had a little concern. Uh,
As he
do we
should.
need, as
Yeah.
he's, yeah, and uh, that was something we thought we might need to look into, or I'm not sure because, as I said, we never have had that situation before. Well, we never have had an event where there was where we were doing alcohol and there were children there, families, and all of that. So I see exactly what you're saying. Maybe that would need to be tabled with Miss Dickerson
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I
available.
think that your policies with the village is different than, I don't know what you all do. I just said I saw a large group of people for the park
Yeah,
district. They were
yeah.
over there. I saw the music in the park. I
You
saw
did
what I
all.
saw. They were,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Well, one thing about that, as you know, the park district is a park district with Cook County Park District. Because this is a little bit more private land, Village of Hazel Crest, there may be some discouragement from that when we openly open it up. But as I said, we on our own, we did that. We had wine out there. We weren't selling anything. But this might be a little different. We got a new administration. I don't know, but I think it might need to be tabled a little bit or something a little bit because we do have, uh, the police building right across the parking lot.
Party pooper.
Well, we just can offer. I don't think it has to be a big thing, but I don't know if it needs to be quieted or covered or
I think it would be great, Marilyn, if you go head on and see what the village rules are, because, you know, the police know that anytime, okay, it's different social, and you have wine than a full blown out party where you're drunk, right? And so they know
right.
that alcohol has always been problematic at different events because some people can't hold their liquor and they carry on, right? So I don't really think that that's the type of folks that you are,
And right. And
okay,
normally it's
encourage.
not. Normally it's not.
Okay.
Um, and normally it's not because I'm going to tell you what we're planning for this Moonlight Social with all of you involved is totally on a different level from what we normally have.
Mhm.
Normally we have a small group. Sometimes it's just been us, commissioners out there, but this may be a little different, and I'm hoping that it is. I'm hoping that it's larger. I'm hoping that it's all that we're planning for it to be. Uh, so I just think it's a matter of maybe kind of leaving no stone unturned and assuming and just kind of lightly table this to see what the responses are. as I said, basically, I'm thinking in my mind because we have a new administration. I think we have a new police chief. I don't know what they do, but we had
Well,
not been.
check with both of them so that we are, in order and not
Yeah,
out of order and in favor of them supporting the work that we're going to be doing out there and invite
yeah.
them to come over to the so come over
Oh,
there.
absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. But I did want to just bring that up because, again, we were always on a small, kind of inclusive situation with a few of the community people coming out. But we're hoping for this to be larger. We're hoping for this to, as we said, phases, the day as well as the evening. And Carl suggested ice cream. I said, well, ice cream would do good for the daytime. It would help with the younger people that are out there. And I have to say, Carol, I know you said I sound like I'm good with children. Uh, if you remember that conversation coming up, because we talked about, oh yes, and the kids can do this, and you let me know that you're not the biggest kid person wanting that issue. Am I correct?
Well, what, yes, but I would say it differently. I am a retired kid person. I worked for over 30, 40
You
years
said that. You did.
in schools. So it's just that
You did say that.
I'm done. I did my part, you know.
That's what you said. I got you on that. But as we thought, or as we're envisioning, is to have the younger people to come and start the Madala, and then the older people in the evening, or those that come out during that time to add to it.
We're trying to
That's
recruit 25 to 30 people. Do you want that to be like something that they RSVP and we get a concrete number? Because Mr. Sawyer we're documenting this. Mr. Sawyer wants to make sure that we're doing community engagement and getting folks over there. The
okay.
last one, I counted a dozen folks, and I think for the tree planting, there might have been 20 out there. 25, I think I counted. And you were
They
saying that,
came. They came. Sorry to interfere,
mm-mm.
but they came from Morton Arboretum. Some of them. So in terms of getting, and they'll come out for tree events like that, and they do. They often come out to help us with that. We can rest assured that we will get help and assistance from Morton Arboretum. But in this case of the Moonlight Social, a lot of those that have come out for these events with the tree planting, such as Morton Arboretum, they live so far out. We've extended and we will extend, but I like the idea that you said RSVP because we
So,
Because we
want
need to
to
get
get
a
them.
head count of how many people, because we
yeah.
want, we want phone numbers, we want email addresses,
Yes,
and encouraging them to send the promotion out so that if one person brings somebody, if you have 18 members on your beautification commission and then they brought one person, that's 36 people.
yes,
An overreach for Carol's workshop, but she want 25 to 30 people so that it's
okay,
throughout the day.
yes, okay.
They also
Um,
need to remember to bring umbrellas too, because it's hot out there in the sun.
right, right.
Well, I know what I'm going to do after this call. Well, not do it right after, but I'm just going to, like Alpha said, I need to just write down what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah,
Okay,
Simply,
okay,
focus on that and then
you
we'll
know,
be,
from the
yeah.
conversation today that, there's parts where there was different understandings of the conversation, Marilyn. Right.
yeah,
So I'm going to write it down so that we can get on the same page, and you can alter it if you need to, but let me put it in writing and
okay,
get that to you. And it seems seems like it's a good plan to do that at this point. And
So,
I,
It would be,
thing I always
it
say,
would,
other thing I always say, you know, the women I'm working on that theater piece with, all in our, they're in their 80s. I just turned 70, and we just always laugh and say, if it isn't fun, we ain't doing it. And keep it simple. Keep it simple. Let's not make
I agree totally. I agree to keep
let's
it simple.
keep it simple.
all right, so,
And that's
you
what
know,
I agree.
yeah, but we still want to help you with that outreach. Um, because we really want to at least have our base number. Would that
Yes,
base number be
yes.
18 to 20 because that's your commission number?
Uh, you
Since they
know,
combined,
that we have, uh, and I'll go along with that. I won't bring up the negative portion of it, but uh, yeah, we can certainly start with that. Certainly start with that. I like the fact that we're talking about RSVP. We need a head count on a lot of what we've done. I realized in stepping into this new year with this position that that was going to have to be a must because we would do things and not have a particular head count. So we
Yeah.
would know how much, let's say, food to have or how much water or beverage to have. And I knew we couldn't continue to do that. We didn't know how many people would we could expect to be coming. And I think Alpha, you saw that even when we had I'm gonna call it the Pachamama. We didn't know. And I'd like to know, what are we looking at? How at least how many people could we say we would be expecting? So the RSVP is good. That head count is important. Sound walk. This is the notes I have.
and then
Carol.
you could maybe put somewhere, because you're not going to provide wine if they want to BYOB, or you're
Yeah,
not going to
that's
put,
what
okay,
it'll be.
yeah.
In fact,
And
if
cheers.
and yeah, bring their own lawn chairs, as we say. We say they're BOYB, and that is not normally on a flyer. That's word of mouth.
Okay,
There, yeah,
well, they're going to need to bring lawn chairs,
yeah.
you
Oh, sure,
know, for
absolutely. Lawn
sure. And
chairs.
we saw that the presentation area, there's no cover. I don't know when the sun creates shadow on that area, but while I was standing there, it was
It
from two
really
to four, it was
wasn't.
hot.
It was. I wasn't out there earlier. I had to uh, kind of groom the front that I have a tendency to have to do because
I
of
have a
the
small idea. Sorry, I interrupted. My apologies. Marilyn,
yes.
very
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. So I wasn't there to help supervise that maybe this should be over there opposed to where it was and all of that type of stuff. But it gave me a good glimpse of what the sun is like around that time. So, Carol, when we're talking about 11 to 1, I will make certain, look to make that we're talking about for the mandala is maybe shaded or not so brightly lit. And I'm thinking that it's not because of the trees, maybe closer to 1 o'clock, but I think it's still a good area.
So when you come and walk it the day before, Carol, you'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
I say, yeah.
So,
So
oh, go ahead.
go ahead, Liza.
So I just
I
wanted to
was
share a quick idea.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it would be too hard to organize or what the liabilities are around this, but recently I visited the Getty and they provide umbrellas for free for everyone to walk around. I just had a thought, maybe not right now, but maybe if you request the community to decorate a donated umbrella to be left, you could collect them and share them and make that a thing to promote the project, as well as, ask them to incorporate some kind of branding into the umbrella and ask local artists to support the project in that manner. It's just a random thought that popped, which is why I get anxious if I get an idea and it just kind of blurts out. So I
Well,
just
that's
wanted to
good.
share
I'm
it
glad you blurted that out.
before I forgot it. But I thought that might
Uh-huh.
be a way to deal with the economics of the situation and also create something positive out of it that could be even long lasting, because they could be collected and reused each time as needed.
Mm, I like it. Sounds like a whole another project, though, right?
It
It
does.
does, it does, and I understand that.
Yeah, I have
But it
two in the car. Um, that's why I brought it up. I carry two because I didn't have it out there that day.
Mhm.
We need to have lots of water.
Right, right.
If you're
Thank
talking
you.
about ice cream, we need to have lots of water out there.
Right.
And ice, stuff like that. But yeah, we can do, put that, make sure like when we're asking folks to make sure they're bringing their lawn chairs, but also umbrellas too, to cover, sun cover, like that. What else? All that's not going to go on the flyer. I think that goes under the social media when Tara sends this out. Now, does it have to be approved, Marilyn, through the village, or you're the
They
approval
normally
person?
they don't normally have to approve it when we put it out. They normally put it out. The only thing I may see, because Mr. Sawyer has stepped pretty much 2 feet into this, he may look at it and want to have it tweaked a certain way. But in the past, no, we put it out there and that was it.
So you want to send him that draft so he could tweak it and add to it that
Tell him
Carol
And
sent
what
him?
he
in a
gets.
way, if I can say, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
And I say that because it'll only prolong getting this out.
That's why
Okay.
I'm saying he gets one tweak on the house. After that, it's gonna cost him.
Well, he's gotten one tweak on the house already, and it might have been for something else, but that's all the tweak he's.
So yeah. So you guys have your beautification meeting tonight?
No, that
When
is
is it?
actually scheduled for next Monday.
Okay. Do
I think
Bill
it's
and
at
I
the
need to be there?
21st.
Yeah, and will Bill and I need to be there, or you can circulate the flyer then?
That, that could be your choice on that, because you could hear maybe what some of the commissioners are saying and either add, subtract, input, however, from you all's perspective.
I know that
Again,
I put in our deliverable. That's one of the things I said quarterly summary submitted to open lands beautification commissions, I guess every 4 months. And then I did say quarterly progress reports will be submitted 2 weeks before the commission meeting by the second Tuesday of each month. I didn't see on here where I said I would be out there, but if it's necessary, we do need to show up and we need to give a report,
Mm.
an
uh,
update. But I did say
that-
on here, R&R deliverables, scope of work. I did say that Bill and I would be quarterly and then giving you
okay,
updates on the second Tuesday of each month.
okay. The meeting that you and Bill came to, we had very few people, as you
Mhm.
saw. We didn't have the 16 people.
Mhm.
I'm going to make certain that on this next meeting, that the majority, if not all, are there. Uh, unless unless there's some reason why they cannot make it, they will have to let us know. Um, because we're moving forward on this and they need to know what we're doing as the Beautification Commission. No one should come up and say, well, we didn't know, and hey, what about this? It's going to
Right.
be it's going to be solidified. So um, I think and even when you went before the board,
Mhm.
they weren't there. Uh, so this would be almost like a last chance for them to get involved with this. So if it's not too much for you and Bill to come out, I would prefer it
On the 21st.
on the 21st. Is that a Monday?
Uh,
Let me check my calendar. It is
God,
Okay.
I told you
21st.
volunteering at this camp. Some kid just got bit by a baby skunk.
What?
They're going to the ER.
Well, when you mentioned skunk, last Moonlight Social, there were two skunks that had come to visit. Well, they were minding their business though.
Oh, I
But
have to look out for the kids who are left, and they're all in array. They're all upset and stuff. But we finished.
Then he's gonna have to take tetanus shots, right?
Yeah, tetanus. Yeah.
yeah,
Before we get
yeah.
off the call, I was gonna share this installation that happened on this is just a little thing from the Evanston Arts Center, and it'll segue into the next conversation, Marilyn. But this is the installation I did with Women in Nature at the Evanston Arts Center, and it was curated by a curatorial fellow, and she invited all of us women to do a piece for her installation.
Oh, great. Okay.
That's not it. This is my piece right here, that first one that showed up.
Wait a minute, I'm not seeing it. What
You
do I
can't
need
see?
to do? Okay, have it.
That's it right here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Can you make it full screen, Alpha?
I'm gonna try. I can't make it full screen.
I'm
Well,
able to on my phone to stretch it, so that's what I did. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow.
And it's about all the women did a contribution to women like in nature.
Okay.
I grabbed that off of Facebook real quick, just to
Okay.
piece that like that. But yeah, our work carries on. And as I was standing there talking, the director of the Evanston Arts Center, well, you know, I did the first curatorial fellow and I've been doing work with them for the last 5 years. And I told them that I was doing the Hazel Crest project. And interesting enough, she has been doing some consulting work for Hazel Crest, you know, for the Art Center. So her and Levon have been in conversation. And I was like, oh, you know, so she was just saying how they're calling and talking about how to monetize and work with, the new center and how to get it off the ground and stuff like that. So it's just interesting how things come full circle.
Yeah, it
You know what I
is.
mean? And it's such a
It
small
is.
like
It
space,
is.
you know, that we work
It
in.
is.
And I was like, so that was, she goes like, she just did the same thing I did when I was like, and she goes, and you know, they're having this big performing arts center come in. And I told her about the board meeting and how we're doing the art in the woods. And she was just impressed as well as how much
gotta go.
investment. Okay,
Bye.
Carol, how much
We'll
investment
talk, Carol,
All right.
that
and send me that info so I
I
can
will. I
get it
will.
together.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
you know, how much investment has happened in Hazel Crest with the arts, you know. So I thought I would share that with you. Such a like I said, full circle when you're
I'm
standing there
glad
talking
that
to
you
somebody.
did. I'm glad that you did. Again, I have to, I'll say it over and over till it's whatever, that I appreciate you all getting involved because that was what we need. That's what we've been needing. And we're moving forward with this. And I'm really glad because, as I mentioned before, we didn't have the support that we needed or the interest from others.
Mhm.
And now we're getting it. And so this is going to be a success. And just to help, I mean, when you talk about the RSVP, we didn't have enough uh, commissioners or enough interest for those to even get this out. And that was one of my first concerns was we needed, as I called it, an HR person. We got
Mhm.
Tara on board and she started swinging from limb to limb immediately. And so I'm looking forward to us advancing and your help has been much needed and could not have came at a better time. And even down to the RSVP, we needed that. Someone was talking about knock on doors. We knew none of us had. Look, I don't have to tell you my age. Was I gonna go knock on door to door? Couldn't do it, but just to get the broad ideas from you all's experiences just helps. So I think we look like we're really wrapping this up. Am I correct in terms of what we will be doing for the Moonlight Social, the two phases, if I call them two phases, the daytime from 11 to 1, and
Yes.
then the evening from, we can even say from 7, 8 to whatever time it falls off.
Okay. 7 to 9 or 7 to 10?
We normally don't give a time, we just,
Okay.
whatever time it falls off.
Do we need to bring things from Mosquito?
You
Like,
know what? Actually, I've worked, I've made a declaration last year that we shouldn't be bringing any off or anything, that the mosquito abatement team come out and abate that area. They were
okay.
doing it over by the whatever. I said, no, we're not going to limit it to the whatever. It's going to be needing to be done in the open lands for the events that we have. So,
Mhm.
because I don't do well with mosquito repellent, they'll still bite and do whatever they do. But we did not have any issues as far as I know.
Okay.
So I don't want that to be mandatory. Bring your mosquito repellent. Some should may do that anyway, but I will make certain that we have some spraying done at that time.
Mhm.
Whether they do it or not, I can't say, but I will make note of that ASAP.
Okay. I was just kind of like making notes of things that need to be thought about, not when you get out there, but kind of before. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we should be good with that. I'm glad to see that the creek, they did uh, groom that creek last week, which I think they've listened. I told Mr. Sawyer we have events over there. Uh, we shouldn't have it uh, groomed once a year. It needs to be a steady groom. So they did do that. And I think we're ready to go. Just a matter of finalizing some of the details, such as you brought up about the mosquito.
mhm.
Uh, is it Liza? Not Lisa. Liz.
Liza.
Yes,
Liza.
hello.
The umbrellas are a fantastic idea. I think that would be a great art project. And when we do have various other tours out there, we can provide umbrellas. We used to, uh, we used to also have a tractor wagon that Carl would drive through the area for our tours. Uh, I think something had occurred. It wasn't operating. But that was always when we would have our tours, that's what we did. They didn't walk. The participants were given a ride through the area. I'll look and see if that would even be available. Carl brought that up for a Halloween event. But I will question him
I
again.
think that that would be good for maybe like handicap, ADA accessible, and not
Yeah,
like everybody.
yeah, it would. It would. But I'll still ask because
Mhm,
everyone couldn't walk that length. Uh, everyone just couldn't walk it, and it was hot, and whatever the case may be. But just to, and even just to, if it needed to provide an aesthetic for uh, something that the open lands is about, that's good
mhm.
too.
Okay. All righty. I'm really excited about getting this off the ground here.
I do too. I really would
Yeah.
like to have, I think Carol and I looked at the date. We really need to have the flyers out really almost no later than this weekend,
I think
in
they
my
should, they're
opinion.
ready to go. She passed it on to you. You have the final approval
Okay,
before sending it to social media, so it's
okay.
ready to go. If you need to do anything else, or if Tara needs to do a press release, you
Tara
know.
may need to do a press release,
Mm-hmm.
something to reach those.
Mm-hmm. Especially in a neighborhood, you know what I mean? And you got folks across the street, down the way, posted at the police station. Oh, we gotta mention free parking.
Yes, the parking will, yeah, be over at the police station. Let's see,
And you need
notify
to, okay.
police about parking. Uh, yeah, because that parking lot is opened pretty much to all except for that portion where the police cars are at the main entrance.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, I think we have this covered. Yeah, I think we have it covered.
Okay, and then you said it would be good for Bill and I to come, the 21st, I was checking my stuff. I do have an appointment, uh, for, an eye exam on that day, so I'm not gonna be seeing too much of anything when I leave out of the doctor's office, you know,
Then don't worry about it.
you know, but I'm
Don't
like, wait a
even.
minute. Okay, I'm gonna tell you now, I won't be able to see you guys. That's on a
Yeah,
Monday. Yeah, doctor. I have a 2 o'clock eye appointment.
yeah, yeah. Well then,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine. We'll handle it from there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that won't be an issue. Take care of yourself. Um, we'll handle it from there.
Okay,
All
great.
right
So
then.
thank you for joining us today on Pop-Up Research
Yes,
Station.
yes.
I found
I'm
the
glad.
other images while we were talking of the installation of folks that are doing this type of work, in nature. So
Uh-huh.
Carol, so I'm gonna just share that, some of the other images. I don't know how I'm going to expand the frame, but I'll just do it this way. This is the curator, Solo Beverly, and she was the 5th
Okay.
curatorial fellow at the Evanston Arts Center.
I like her
Okay.
style.
Yeah. And here's one of the pieces. I'll just go through the show.
Oh, wow.
their
Right.
response to art and nature. They also have a catalog that I'll share the QR code with um, on that, Liza, so that we could put it as part of the
Oh, wow.
talk. This is the
Beautiful.
card feature.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Look at that.
We can-
Wow. Great, great,
Mhm.
great art. Look
And I
at
really love
that.
the way that the artist incorporated, like the nature.
Yeah.
This piece is mine. I actually got it finished.
It's cute.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Alpha,
It's,
while I'm thinking,
mhm.
I just had visited my friend from Sacramento. I was
Oh,
trying to tell her where your art piece is. Would you share that information or that address with me so that she can go and view it?
sure. Well,
Okay.
and
How much is that piece, Alpha?
6,000.
Wow. Which one was that? The floral one?
The one that I painted for the show. This one.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's just, all these pieces are gorgeous. Okay. Yes, yes, yes.
Share a little bit more about this piece.
This piece is titled "The Dragonfly and the Praying Mantis." I do have a blog spot on that I can share and put it in the so you can read more about it.
Share the link.
But I chose those two because I'm a Scorpion, and it's all about that, the animals that are in nature, where the dragonfly, when it lands on you or it's in your environment, it's about bringing serenity and calmness and peace. Um, and also, it's a blessing for a praying mantis to, land in your environment. So I had one that visited my screen door, and I saw two heads on it. And I was like, why does this have two heads? Well, it didn't have two heads. What was happening is that it was, I found out and read about it, how the female praying mantis, when they're mating, they can be cannibalistic, where they, and they can eat their prey or eat the male. And and while they're, like devouring their male, he releases more eggs into them. And I thought, well, I didn't know that that happened. But yeah, so I thought, well, women in nature and how dominant that we are um, in nature, and that's how sometimes, not to say that we can be cannibalistic as women, but that makes us stronger and more determined, um, to survive. And that's kind of like what I wrote about, the symbolism of the dragonflies and the praying mantis. A little bit morbid, but uh, you know, it was kind of it was kind of like things in nature that happen, and what we do as women to survive,
Mm.
sometimes, but here's the piece that's in the blog, and I'll put that in the um, in the chat. um, and it talks about the symbolism of the dragonflies and praying mantis, so it just kind of tells the story again, a little bit more detail. But I didn't know that the female mantis consumes her mate in an act of sexual cannibalism during their mating ritual. And
Mm.
that whole shocking scene. But on this piece, you don't see the praying mantis. You see the dragonflies, but the praying mantis is at the bottom of the piece. And I just put the concepts that I went with when I was putting this piece together. It does have a backside to it, and the backside is this gated kind of feeling, and the snow with the leaves that were printed on the cloth. that's actually leaves from my fig tree that I took and plant and did a monochromatic print on with paint onto the canvas. I didn't paint that. I let that so that's what the piece is all about. And the praying mantis is right here in the front, where can't see it, but it's down in the front right here.
Wow.
And so anyway, that's kind of like my piece over there. And the show is called Women in Nature, Taking Up Space. And it closes on August 10th is the last day.
I wish I had money to bring the show out here. I wish I had the funding.
I would tell Solo Beverly, she again is the the 5th curatorial fellow that the Evanston Arts Center has granted, this residency, and she's great to work with.
It's positive. I love it. Wish I could see it in person.
So, Alpha, tell me again. So this is on display?
Yes, it's at the Evanston Arts Center.
I go to Evanston all the time.
Mm-hmm. And I can send you the postcard. It's online.
Do that.
Yeah, I'll send that to you. And then again, it's closes August 10th. The artist talk is August 7th.
Okay.
And you can go on
Send
their
that to
website
me,
and get more
please.
details about, and she also produced the online catalog with all of our statements and images on it.
Okay. Ooh, sounds interesting.
Yeah. So more
Sounds
nature.
interesting.
And like I say, Paula knows.
All right then. So
Okay, we'll try to see you on the 21st, and I'll relay the meeting to Bill. And again, all of the videos with the link where they'll be on the Pop-Up Research Station Cafe. If any of the commissioners want to
sounds
see
good.
what's going on.
Okay, great. Sounds
All
good.
right.
So to the both of you all, have a wonderful evening, a beautiful week, and until next time, be well.
You too.
Bye-bye, you too.
Bye-bye.
I'll put it.
This has been such an exciting journey. I just don't even know how I got here, and I blame everything on Fran and Joy that I'm just so happy for my artists. I hope everybody is enjoying themselves and getting to meet the artists. This has been, I don't even know what to say, but I know I want to say a few thank yous, and if she'll raise her hand to Miss Adelina. As far as I'm concerned, the show would not have happened without Adelina. So, thank you. Thank you. And then to my wonderful partner, fiancée Madeline. Literally lived with a monster for 1 year. And I couldn't do any of this without her. And then all my friends who I love, who have been there for me. And so, all you wonderful artists who push the limit, put up with our emails, get your great interviews, you guys are kick-ass, and I'm so proud of all of you. And thank you, Evanston Art Center. I love everything about Evanston, and I love being in this venue. And everybody, thank you again. Appreciate it.
Yeah, she's a great, and she put this spread together as well as set up the exhibit. And this is the way the corner invited people in.
Oh, nice, nice.
And
I
then
like.
on the ground, she had everyone's sticker here that was the profile was on the ground. And it did put some distance between people walking up on the piece and defined space like that. So this is the backside of mine where I took that whole gate idea concept and then, the leaves here for the snow in the winter. And then Rose Boone, she's a photographer, but her lady right in the middle echoed mine, and we hadn't even like talked about the show. It just so
Mm.
happened it echoed the same, kind of the same image with the hair and everything. And see how the
Oh, yeah.
curator brought all the pieces together by bringing the elements, of into the room. I really love the way she did it and set it
Yeah, I
up.
do too. I do too. She did a great job.
See how this,
Hmm.
yeah. Fran Joy right here, she's gets everybody involved. She's on their board. And little things like, the limbs.
Yeah.
And this artist came from New York, and her piece was on trafficking and how this little girl was like an angel that translated for this woman that didn't want to get on the plane, because she knew that she was being kidnapped. And so
Mhm.
she painted that uh, piece. This is the backside. She's just a beautiful artist, you know. Yeah, I love this piece too, but I look the way it was presented here with the
Oh, yeah.
limbs and everything.
Yeah. I have all of these branches from the backyard, from the garden houses that were burned.
Mhm.
And it's
This the backside to this one.
that's
That's the
beautiful.
front. Only a few of us did the back, you
Really?
know. Yeah, it was, I understood the assignment that you could do front and back, and I just did both too. But a few of us, and then the ones that just did the front when they came in, they wish they had did the back too.
I'm sure. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
But I love the way this one right here, like this is the front and then this is the back, you
Wow.
know.
That's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah, so that's the end of that.